So we're starting off Squid Game Season 1, Episode 2. We see that the guards are doing what they were doing the last episode. They're bringing bodies of the fallen players. Somebody's trying to get out of their casket. And one of the masked guards see this and push their fingers back inside of the casket and nails it down. This is just the beginning of the episode. We get to see the remaining players and everybody is shook. Everybody's traumatized. They are scared because of what they just saw yesterday. They were just playing an innocent game of red light, green light, which turned out to not be innocent at all. The guards come in and congratulate them on making it past the red light, green light game. They get told how many players made it and how many players did not make it. And boy, is the audience sick to their stomachs. This lady, who I might add has gorgeous hair, is begging to leave, followed by more players begging to leave. They're saying that they'll pay their debts, they'll do whatever they have to do to get out of here, but they just don't want to die. Squareface says that this is just a game and if you follow the rules, you can leave. The players don't care. They're like, send us home. Square tells them, y'all signed a contract, remember? It says y'all can't stop playing. And if you refuse to play, you will die. 218 says, wait, if we all vote to quit, we can go home. So let's vote. Square tells him, wait a minute. Let me show you guys how much money you guys received just by playing the red light, green light game. They do this on purpose, and this changes everything. Everybody in the room is watching this giant glass-filled pig fill up with money. And Squareface says, y'all can win 45.6 billion won. Honestly, this was done on purpose. You put a bunch of money in a room full of broke people who owe debts. That's definitely going to change their minds. Now, the players start voting, and majority of the players voted to terminate the game. So they end up dropping the players off in the middle of the street with no clothes. Just drive by and just kick them out the van. Now, when we see who the players are, it's 456 and 067. And 067 ends up getting herself out of these ties. Her hands are tied behind her back. Her feet are tied. She ends up getting out and putting on some clothes. 456 is begging her to let him loose, to help him get out of these ties. And he's like, I swear on my mom's life, I won't mention the money that you stole from me. Like, I won't, I promise you. And just when she cuts his arms, he starts hassling her about the same money he just promised on his mom's life that he wasn't going to ask her about. Wow. You cease to amaze me, 456. Now we see players 480 and 218. They're at a store. They're eating noodles together. And 218's phone is going off about being sued. He owes some people some big money. Now, 218 offers his phone for 480 to call whoever he needs to call. And he ends up going to the back of the store and calling, I'm guessing, his wife. And whenever they're done eating their noodles, 218 asks 480, does he have money for the buzz? And 480 says, no, I'm going to walk home. 218 try to give him money, and he's like, I don't have money to pay you back. And 218's like, I don't want the money back. You just shouldn't walk back home. You can ride the bus. Here's some money. 480 says thank you and ends up catching the bus home. Now we get to 456 and he's at the police station and he's telling the police about these games. He looks crazy. He sounds crazy. And he also looks like he hasn't had a bath in about a week. Now he pulls out the card that was given to him to enter the Squid Game. You know, the one with the number on the back for him to call. Well, the police ends up calling that number and a woman picks up the phone. And she ends up calling the police officer a pervert and hangs up. That's whenever they throw 456 out of the police station because at this point, he just sounds crazy. 456 gets home and he's looking for his mom and his mom is nowhere to be found. That's whenever he runs into his buddy 218. They sit and drink coffee and have a little chat. And 218 proceeds to tell 456 that he has lost 6 billion wons and has used all of his mom's properties and businesses as collateral. Sir, you are no good with money. Now, 456 gets a call that his mom is in the hospital. When he gets there, the doctor tells him that his mom is diabetic and she's been in a lot of pain and that 456's mom might have to get her feet amputated. His mom is not with the shits right now. She wants to leave the hospital, and when she does, she scolds him on how he's been gone for days. And the mom tells him, I can't stay in this hospital. This hospital costs money, and who's going to pay the rent? That's when 456 says, well, the insurance can help you. The insurance can pay for it. And his mom is like, what insurance? Turns out 456 canceled his mom's health insurance and spent all the money they had in savings. Son of the year. The cop from earlier is looking for his brother who went off the grid. He visits his brother's apartment and sees that the rent hasn't been paid. He goes in and looks around, and his brother has not been here for a minute. His pet fish are gone. I mean, gone. And then he sees a black box with a pink bow on it. He opens the box to see the same card that 456 had brought to the police station. 067 is visiting her brother, and he is sad about his living situation. Turns out he's in a children's home and is getting told by the other kids that he will be abandoned just like they were. Their parents left them, apparently, and it's kind of sad because he just wants to be with his mom and his dad and his sister. And at the moment he can't, and it's really touching. Now, we learned that the detective's name is Detective Wong, and he goes to the police station and he asks the desk cop for the name and the address of 456. Yeah, things are starting to add up. 480, whose name is Ali, is hounding his boss for the money that he's owed. Apparently, he's been working for 6 months and hasn't got paid a dime. The boss has a stack of money on his desk and is sitting there playing in that man's face. 480 ends up getting into a tussle with his boss, and he pushes his boss hand into a roller and squish the whole hand. That's when 480 takes the cash, and I mean, he runs off like a thief in the night. 067 is looking for a smuggler, I'm guessing for her brother and her family. And it seems like she already paid for a service and they ran off with her money. So she has to get more money. And this irritates her to the point where she throws hot steaming coffee in this guy's face and puts a knife to his throat. After the scuffle, he notices a cut in his jacket pocket. She has stolen another wallet. 218 calls his mom, and during the call, she gets a customer. So they end up getting off the phone, and the mom is bragging to the customer. And I'm like, ma'am, your son just put all of your businesses and your property up for collateral, and you don't even know it. Now, during this moment that she's bragging on her son with this customer, the police come up and tell her that her son has a warrant for her arrest, and she is shocked. She's like, not my son. Whose son? Not my son. She's so shocked, and I feel for her because her son is a damn good crook. We get to see 218 bathing in a 3-piece suit, and somebody is ringing the doorbell nonstop. When he gets to the door and asks who is it, they slide the same Squid Game card underneath the door. When 480 gets home to his wife and gives her the money, there's blood on it because, she's scared and she wants to know where he got this money, and he assures her that everything's gonna be okay. And this show definitely tugs on your heartstrings. We get to 456 begging his friend for money for his mom. While he's begging his friend for money, his friend's wife comes out and makes him come in, and clearly the wife hates 456. That's when 456 leaves and he's drinking alone. And what do you know? Pawpaw 001 comes up. And I'm like, how convenient is that? Like, were you in the neighborhood before? I don't know. Pawpaw tells him that he decided that he's going to go back to the game and said that he's already dying and he doesn't want to just sit around and die. That's pathetic. No, he wants to go out with a bang. We get to player 101 who's still being sleazy, and he's in the car with his friend and he's planning to rob the Squid Game. Turns out his friend is not his friend, and it was definitely a setup. 101 goes Michael Myers on his friends and starts poking them up. He gets chased by a group of thugs where he ends up jumping into the water below, which was a smart move because it was 8-on-1, and I don't think him and that blade were going to do too much damage. That's when 456 goes to his ex-wife's house and asks her for money, and he lets her know that it's for his mom's surgery and that she has diabetes. She tells him, listen, I'm broke and things have been hard. He's like, come on. She's like, listen, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I just get money from my husband. I don't have nothing. Then that's when 456 gets the audacity to ask her, why don't you just ask your husband for money? Like, sir, why would you even ask her that? That's when the husband walks in with the kids and 456 scurries out of there like he's ashamed that he's embarrassed. He doesn't even really say much to his own kid, and he just hurries up and leaves. That's whenever the husband walks out and tries to hand 456 money. And he tells him, if you take this money, just stop harassing my family. Stop contacting my family. We're moving to the U.S. That's when 456 decks the husband in the face, and the daughter saw everything. It's really a sad moment because he's trying so hard but doing so little, and it's like his daughter is better off where she is until he can get his shit together. As 456 is doing the walk of shame, Detective Wong approaches him about the Squid Game, and 456 lies and says he made it up. Wong tells him that he found the same card that he came to the police station with, and he asked 456 for help, and 456 is like, I can't help you. I can't even help myself. Go on. This is when we see the players waiting on the corner to be picked up to return to the Squid Game, it took them all of one episode to realize that they would rather risk their lives for this money or die, basically. Seriously, yeah. So while the vans are on their way back to Squid Island, Detective Wong is following them. He's not going to stop until he finds his brother. That's the end of this episode. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode down below. It's your girl Letty, and we hope to see you again.